General Asim Munir's reiteration of the two-nation theory and openly quoting the forefathers as claiming that Hindus and Muslims cannot coexist shows the following. 1. The Pak Army General is fundamentalist, bigoted and filled with Hindu messiah. 2. Non-Muslims or minorities in Pakistan are unsafe. They have no state or military protection. The UNHRC must take cognizance. 3. Pakistan is facing huge disaffection amongst its current generation, and this is a desperate attempt to rile up passions using religion. Viewers, Pakistan is in disarray. It is hurtling towards balkanization. Notwithstanding the state of non-Muslims, a nation founded on the Kalma, as General Munir says, has been unable to keep its Muslim brethren united. The Pashtuns in Pakhtunistan are upset. There is flux on both sides of the Durand line. The Baloch in Balochistan are up at arms and organizing like never before. The Sindhis, where a lot of Mujahir, Muslims from Bihar, UP, other parts of modern-day Bharat, who came during the partition were shafted by the Sunni Punjabis, are also upset. The Muslim denizens of the forcibly occupied regions of Gilgit-Baltistan and Kashmir are also out on the streets protesting against apathy. Pakistan's stature internationally is at its nadir. The elected government has no clue. The army is stretched thin and mired in various allegations of corruption. And all they have to keep going is opium, both literally and figuratively, where General Munir attempts to use religion as the opium of the masses. While he makes a desperate attempt to rouse a failed state, one must also consider the following. Do we as Bharatiya want another partition? Do we as Bharatiya want Aman ki Asha with a bigoted and xenophobic neighbor? Do we as Bharatiya want to allow space for more Jinnah-like characters in our polity and public life? Do we as Bharatiya look away from the deliberate and slow demographic alteration of our border regions with the infusion of illegals? And do we as Bharatiya allow a collusion of radicals that want to sabotage and eventually end the inclusive Hindu way of life in Hindustan? These are serious questions that need deliberation, consideration, and more importantly, strong, timely action. Famed Pakistanis celebrated among the social circles have openly been quoted saying, "Kafir pasand nahi hai, par kafiron ka paisa pasand hai." That's their mentality. Should we continue to lay out the red carpet for them? Let's not forget that it was way back in Meerut in 1888 that in the heart of Bharat today, just 40 minutes from its national capital, that the two-nation theory was first proposed by Syed Ahmad Khan. Aligarh Muslim University still celebrates and venerates the man who the eventual proponent, a Punjabi, Muhammad Ali Jinnah. The All India Muslim League was birthed in Dhaka in 1906 post the partition of Bengal, when majority of Muslims in East Bengal united under the leadership of Nawab Bahadur Sir Khwaja Salimullah to champion the possibility of governing their own separate state. Sample the votes the Muslim League got across all the provinces in the Constituent Assembly in 1946. Out of the 492 seats, Muslim League won 429. Muslims back in the day overwhelmingly backed the two-nation theory across the length and breadth of undivided Bharat then. It's a different story that post-partition, after many who saw how the Muhajirs were treated and the rampant violence and killing, many who voted for a separate state stayed back where they were. Today we see similar elements yet again stoking the flames. Radical elements in Bangladesh polity, fundamentalists in their army, terror outfits, plotting the greater Bangla state with Kolkata and other parts of Bengal and even portions of Bihar in their radar. They are being egged on by forces inimical to Bharat and perhaps being helped by those within who theoretically align with Jinnah and Munir. The Bharatiya today have to decide. Do we prefer the inclusive, all-encompassing Hindu way of life, or do we allow extremists to run riot? About 100 years ago, the period between 1920 and 1930 saw the worst communal riots across undivided Bharat. It is this period that perhaps sealed the turn of events a decade and a half later. Till 1929, Muslim League was a non-entity. We all know what happened in the next decade and a half. Nearly a century later, there are many working overtime to repeat history. Should we not together as a nation learn from that and avoid a painful repetition? The government of the day in our country also needs to act. From Bhishma to Kautilya to modern day experts of statecraft, one of the cornerstones of Raj Dharma is to protect a nation from forces inimical to it and to ensure that diffident neighbors and radical elements are never able to organize. Infiltration and illegals should not be allowed to seed themselves. Any effort at subversion must be quelled and the betrayers must be dealt with an iron hand. Any form of rapprochement with such entities is futile, a wasted exercise. Only a strong and secure Bharat can aspire to be a Viksit and Shresht Bharat. Jai Hind.